We'll take those first small steps into a brand new day. And in all of that ordinary movement, there's something kind of extraordinary. A moment worth noticing, a spark you feel before you even name it. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's small, but kindness shows up right on time. And every morning we choose to show up with you so we can look for that spark together.
Good morning. I'm Matt Roof, the Uncommon Kindness Guy, and this is Kindness Rising. Let's rise together.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Today and all this week on Kindness Rising, we're talking about control, self-control, external control, manipulative control, and the subtle and often invisible ways that control shows up in our daily lives. Remember, some control protects, some will distort, and some control quietly drains us without us even noticing. So today we're talking about one of the most contested resources on earth and control over that resource, your attention. So let's begin. Welcome to Kindness Rising. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. I'm trying this thing with the glasses, without the glasses. I don't know what's going on. Get involved in the comments. Let's say good morning to each other here on Kindness Rising. Mike Sullivan, always here with us. I appreciate you, brother, every day coming out. Who else is out there in the chat? Say hello, and let's talk a little bit about control for our attention. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about intention, our intentional engagement in life. And we are going to talk even more about change and what happens to our attention when change happens in our lives. Absolutely. All right. So let's talk about whatever. Here's one thing I do want to get out of the way, though, before we get fully into the episode, because I was thinking about the irony that I am dealing with right here, which is I'm going to be talking about the battle for your attention while I'm sitting here battling for your attention. What? This is a live stream. It's happening on screen, and technically I'm competing for your attention, I guess. So I recognize the irony in that, but what I'm doing here, I feel like, is a little bit different in one way. I'm competing for your attention, but I'm competing for your intention so that you can live with intention, so that we can live with intention. I'm not here for likes. I'm not here for views. I'm not here for any of those vanity metrics. They help. Certainly, I want to spread the message and I want my channel to be impactful. But I've said it from day one, if it's impactful for one, then it's impactful. And that's all, that's what I'm doing here. So I hope we can talk about that and maybe grab some attention along the way. Roseanne Roof, good morning, Matthew S. Matthew S. Love your typos, Mom. It's all good. Good morning. I am glad you're here. I'm glad Mike Sullivan is here too. And here's what I want to get to. I just want to get right down to it, which is there is a big difference between attention extraction and intentional engagement. Because remember, the platforms, they're not designed to help you think clearly. They're designed to grab you, hold you, get you to react. That's why the timing of the shorts is the same timing. That's why there are tools out there to help people engage, because that's what they want. They want to keep your attention, reacting, dopamine spiking, and eventually get to mind numbingness where you're just there on the platform receiving the message, right? What we're trying to do here on Kindness Rising absolutely is different, because we are not asking for your attention so we can sell it or manipulate it or hijack it. We're inviting you to pause, to reflect, to start your day with a little bit of presence, because this isn't about volume, it's about intention, and that distinction matters. Thank you for joining me on Kindness Rising every morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube and LinkedIn. And here's where things get a little bit juicier for me, and where I move from thought to action. Moving from thought to action. Uh, Absolutely. I made a decision yesterday. It's got to be. It's got to be for me. It surprised me, but I'm just like, you know what? That's it. I said bye bye to Facebook, adios Instagram, and toodaloo to TikTok. I got rid of them all off my devices. The accounts are still going to exist. They're still back there, and of course I can trigger them back. But at least for now, I am pulling away from those things because those were the ones that are grabbing my attention and just getting me flipping, as opposed to LinkedIn and YouTube, where I am sticking. I am sticking here because they serve a clear purpose, not because I am. As long as we are changing, we are living. Absolutely. LinkedIn and YouTube serves a purpose for me, a clear purpose: learning, creating, networking, building the community that we're building here. So this isn't about anti-technology. It's not about anti, as a matter of fact, just the opposite. It's about focusing my efforts on that which will help me have clear purpose and move my purpose forward. So it's pro-awareness, not anti-technology. And yeah, I did it because I noticed something that was really unsettling. I wasn't really engaging with the content. Brains moving, blah, 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 reading Epstein files, reading whatever, crap, just junk. Like that's like not having a real purpose for me, and it was numbing me out. So I made the conscious choice, along with other things that I'm changing, and I'll talk about some of that too, and other changes that are happening in my life. But that's, I think it's time for me. I think a lot of people go through this. As a matter of fact, there's a trend out there for those of us who are TikTok scrolling and did that. You can see people talking about, this is my last post. I'm leaving. I'm going analog for 2026. Whatever it is. So yeah, absolutely. If you're looking for me on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, you're not gonna find me, because it's just those platforms are not serving a purpose for me right now, other than insanity causing. So absolutely, that's what it is. Yep. The scariest part for me, though, I forgot to mention this, which is the scariest part for me, or the craziest part for me, was all the time that I've been doing it that I haven't noticed, even though other people have noticed the amount of time I have in my nose in my phone. How much time I actually spent. I didn't look at the stats, but I can only imagine over the past couple of weeks how much time I have spent with my nose in that phone. And then here's the weird part: is I deleted it just yesterday, and literally every time I picked up my phone, my thumb immediately went to that location on my phone where the icon is. I always picked it up, boop, icon, boop, icon. Yep. Constantly. First thing I did. What's the point? And then just getting sucked in. So yeah. So that was, I basically, what it comes down to is I got conditioned. I got conditioned by the algorithm. I'm freaking Pavlov's dog, picking up the phone, boop, beep, give me the pellet, give me the pellet. So I'm done with that nonsense. I am going to continue to use social media. I'm going to use it here on YouTube to create and build community and have energy out here together. That absolutely. And I am going to stay connected on LinkedIn as a professional network. And that's okay. That's enough for me. All right. Thank you. Oh, Carol Birdie and Carol, you are out there. Thank you so much. Yes, no doubt about it. It is wasted energy. It is wasted energy. Absolutely. Yep. 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 Not only that, but it feeds the exact same uh, brain loops, the dopamine loops, the brain triggers, right? That any other addiction, right? I have talked about the fact that I have struggled with addiction to things, right? For these exact reasons: substances, behaviors, activities. It's not just when people talk about addiction, you're not just talking about addiction to alcohol or pills or any to drugs. Addiction goes way beyond. And I have that. I'm wired that way. I'm wired for addiction. I know that um throughout different times of my life and different uh yeah, obsessions, addictions. um Absolutely. So I'm learning. I'm still learning, even with social media, still learning how to recognize them earlier and get out of those loops, out of those loops. And yeah, I've been to the programs, I've done AA, I've read the books. And there are things that I take away from each one of those things as I try to just focus on self-awareness and intentionality and purpose and growth, self-compassion, self-awareness, those kind of things. So there are lots of lessons out there to be learned from others and from community. And I there's a reason why it works for a lot of people. The AA thing, right? But it also, AA in itself can become the replacement of an addiction, right? And the idea that as long as I don't pick up, as long as I don't use, that's all that matters. Um, and it works. It worked for people. Absolutely. Uh, I don't. I don't participate deeply. I don't do the sponsorship, non-sponsorship, whatever. But the concepts are there. The foundation is there of understanding, and that kind of thing. Yeah. Be kind to each other. Absolutely. Yep. Replacing addictions. Absolutely. Bad addictions with good ones. Absolutely. Yep. The issue is, Mike, and I appreciate what you're saying. Actually, the it feels like the bad addictions, right? If you want to use your language, the bad addictions, they're just so easy. They're just so easy, and the good addictions are harder to do until you get into it, right? That's the easy. That's the thing, because I feel like the dopamine hit that we're trying to get, and why social media is perfect, because it's just fast. It's just really fast, right? So that's speed and intensity that burns out fast, or going slowly, step by step with intentionality. That's the struggle. That's the struggle for me, I think. What do you guys think? That's definitely part of the struggle, constant struggle. All right. I'm just checking out what else I had lined up for today. I got to be honest, it was a challenging day yesterday with everything else that was going on in order to prepare for today. So it's definitely not as structured, I guess, or prepared. I didn't do segments. I didn't do a spotlight. I am going to sneeze. There it is. So hysterical. Okay, whatever. Hello, everybody. Um, yeah, I didn't do a whole lot of preparation. My friends are here. So what do I do when life feels out of control, though? Maybe we'll talk about that. Because yeah, there's definitely been times, especially lately, that life has been feeling out of control. Things outside of my control are impacting me dramatically. Um, Factors in my life that I don't get to manage or predict or speed up, um, or make happen or not happen, like just things outside of our control, right? And sometimes we get focused on those things that are outside of our control. We talked about control, the controllables yesterday. We get so focused on that thing over there, that thing over there, but it's not really what's controllable within ourselves. And I know that. I know that about myself when those factors outside of my control um, start overwhelming. I know what my vulnerabilities are, for a lack of a better word, to get angry, to shut down, to run away and escape, to numb out with habits, uh, perhaps to over compensate with humor or whatever the case may be, overcompensate. Um, Anything to feel comfortable in the moment. Anything to feel comfortable in the moment, right? I've been there, reacting in order to feel better, as opposed to deciding to do something with intention, to take a pause, right? Um, so that's what I'm doing right now. I was noticing all those things spiraling out of control, things outside of my control that I wasn't changing, or that had to change, that were changing, that are changing. Um, And so it's like, all right, what was I doing? Like that scrolling, that mindless scrolling, definitely it was my numbing activity. So I pulled it out of there. I pulled it out. It's going to be an interesting couple of days to see how I do. I do, right? Protecting my attention is going to be really important to me, right? Um, so it's going to be interesting. Remember, there's stuff outside happening outside of yourself, right? But we can't control some of those waves. We can't control the waves, but we can learn how to ride them. Right? That's what I'm trying to figure out. All right. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Replacing a bad addiction. Yes, mom, that's true. It's the hard part is finding that balance. Absolutely. Anyway, so there are things you can't control outside yourself. There are things you can control inside, but I can decide how present I want to be in any of this, not as a punishment or uh, discipline through shame or whatever. It's actually trying to be kind to myself by aligning, adjusting my life so it supports who I'm trying to become instead of who I am when I'm overwhelmed or whatever the case may be. Controlling the controllables in real life. That's the review, right? Controlling the as a man thinketh. Absolutely, Roseanne. We talked about that. We've talked about that for an entire week, right? As our thoughts go, then go our behaviors. Our behaviors turn into our identity. Our identity turns into our impact, and our ability to be centered with that serenity within ourselves. It's a big word. It's a big word in the AA movement, right? The serenity prayer. I say it constantly in my head, sometimes intentionally, sometimes not. But absolutely, absolutely. All right. Like I said, I didn't prepare a whole bunch of stuff. I didn't do a kindness spotlight. I didn't do a an organization. I guess we can move into what I don't know, whatever you guys want to talk about. Anybody out there got any ideas of what you're going to do, how you're going to spend your day today living with a little bit more attention and kindness through alignment with yourself, controlling what you can control? I'm just looking at the other stuff going back here. Um, yeah. I'll talk about a little bit personal, like about the TikTok, the face. I'm Facebook. Facebook was the one I would get sucked into, right? There were times that more than once, particularly over the past month, that someone, particularly Heather, my wife, or one of my kids, was like, you're scrolling right now? Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you on Facebook?" And I'm just like, you know what? I don't even know what I'm looking at. I don't even know what I'm looking at. It was just happening. And it was just remarkable to me, um, how easily I gave up control of that part of my brain, my intentionality. Absolutely. All right. So why don't we talk about a kindness call, the attention audit? Do a simple audit of yourself. Right. That's what I basically did. It happened organically, but what am I consuming? What kind of content am I consuming? Whether that's on Facebook or Instagram, it doesn't matter what platform. It could be the old-fashioned TV. It could be a newspaper, a magazine, whatever media you are consuming. But what are you consuming? How does it actually make you feel after you consume it? Are you feeling more energized and positive? Are you feeling more angry, confused? I know confusion was a big part of what I've been feeling and experiencing over the past couple of weeks, just like disorientation. I agree, Mike. Thanks for chiming in with that. I'm not trying to tell you that all social media is bad, because look, that would be self-sabotaging, self-indicting if I said that. I'm out here every day using social media as a platform. So that would be way too hypocritical for me to say that. But I like what you said, Mike, which is, doing it with intentionality, unfollowing certain pages. Um, if that is a step, because there is good material out there. Like you said, once in a while, such pages provide gems. I agree. Health, fitness, if it's focused around the positivity or whatever it is that you're interested in, absolutely. But to me, my experience has been, in my experience, uh, the negativity and the rage bait, it overwhelms. And for me, it's just too hard to ignore, and like I get sucked in. And so uh, um, anyway, that's it. I'll get sucked in on that stuff. Absolutely. So that's all I'm asking for today. It's an idea of something that maybe you can do if you've got a moment. Just take a minute to ask yourself, what am I consuming? How do I feel after? Is it helping me live intentionally, or pulling it away from myself? Not with judgment, not with judgment about yourself, just awareness about what am I what am I scrolling through? What am I consuming? The judgment can come later for yourself, honestly, or the decision to be intentional with where you're spending your time and what you're doing. So absolutely. Here's the thing is we live in a world that profits from that distraction. Whatever we can get from get our attention, lead you down the path of buying something or believing something or whatever the case may be, that distraction from reality or from what you really need, right? But when we choose presence as opposed to being stuck in our phone, we choose presence. Presence can be, I'm present right now. It's not that I'm present personally or, physically in the same space. That becomes a quiet act of resistance, right? Of resisting, of just not allowing yourself to be manipulated or sucked into the algorithm. Absolutely. It's helping you to live more grounded and control those controllables. That's the idea. Oh, absolutely, Mom. I don't think it's maybe. I know 100%. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about mind numbing. The things that we do excessively is to help shut down our brains at the time and not to take responsibility for what we should be doing. That's it. That is it. Absolutely. Sully and Carol, you guys are doing awesome. Thank you so much. And that's what I love doing. I love coming here talking. I know there's more people out there. I can see you. Stop hiding. Come on out and play with us here on Kindness Rising. It's not always this like kind of heavy. We try to have a little fun too. And it's not that I'm not trying to be heavy. I'm just trying to be intentional. I'm just trying to bring it back to what's really important for us to control the controllables, right? To stay grounded. Absolutely. And make the choices that lead us down a path of growth and balance. Absolutely. And a presence. I love that presence. Good morning. Good morning. Absolutely. All right. We're going to wind it down. I appreciate everyone for coming out here to Kindness Rising, 7:30 a.m. Eastern every weekday morning on the Mornings in the Lab Network. Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and Friends is next at 8 o'clock. Subscribe to that channel. Subscribe to this channel. Get involved with the Mornings in the Lab to get up with a little kindness with me, a little chaos with Keith over there. And don't forget about Cheryl Raphael Whitaker and her Living with Joy, and Jason Hewlett, who is bringing his special humor and insights on the Jason Hewlett Show on Wednesdays, as we build the Mornings in the Lab network. Check it out. Come see me, Matt Roof, on Kindness Rising, and also over there on LinkedIn. You won't find me on Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram anymore, though. Not for now. I appreciate you all. Come on back tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, right here on Kindness Rising. And until then, stay uncommon and stay kind.
Okay, Matt, we got the memo about the Kindness Rising promo, but what exactly are we promising people?
And is there craft services? Hey, I need snacks too.
Gentlemen, focus. Kindness Rising multiplies kindness and helps people get up on the right side of the bed.
So wait, we're not doing another angry headline show.
Exactly. We rise above the negative, divisive noise.
Translation, less rage bait, more high fives for humanity. And this is live, like actually live.
Yep. We go live on YouTube and LinkedIn, 7:30 a.m. Eastern every weekday.
Wait, if it's live, what if I forget my lines?
Then you improvise.
Okay, so our tagline is basically wake up, tune in, and start your day with kindness.
Exactly. Kindness Rising. Good vibes, practical tips, and a reason to get up on the right side of the bed.
You heard the boss. Subscribe now before he makes us do a TikTok dance.
Kindness Rising. Wake up, tune in, and let's make some good noise.